I welcome you all to a journey that is ascending as a reminder. The first reminder that comes to us is usually a pain. When the pain is ignored, it becomes chronic. Eventually, all we have is a huge bunch of toxic instrument that is out of order. Many scientists, doctors, wellness experts are all baffled by the extent of this body's powerful design. What is important in this body has been ignored. We are only looking at it as a biological instrument and what it can do in the scope that there will be a phenomenal tussle between intervention versus body's own powerful defense mechanism. If the immunity within us is supremely working towards the common objective of keeping this body in one powerful circuitry, a loop of energy which is so strong and profound that the electromagnetic field is so huge, thick, that there is no scope for viruses and bacteria to win their battle against this body's defense mechanism. So, if you're able to see an auric field, you can actually see whether the defense mechanism is right or not. In a very powerful warrior energy, strong, somebody like a Shaolin monk or a Himalayan yogi or a powerful dancer or powerful martial artist, they have an extraordinary strong electromagnetic field, and this is called a Vajra Kavacha, a diamond armor. Vajra Kavacha, diamond armor. Now, to attain diamond armor, you cannot buy it. Basically, you could put an armor on your body. It is too heavy. If you go to these Windsor Castle in UK, they have shown armors of warriors. The minimum height required to wear that armor is 6 foot 9 inches. That means, so you can imagine, we don't belong to that category of people. So, what armor do we have? The armor that we have is energetic armor. You've seen how this armor can work is simply walk through a very crowded bar, walk through a toxic field of energies where people are smoking, drinking, arguing, fighting, sit there for few hours and come out. You can make out if your armor is working or not. Yes, because the toxic nature of the armor has been penetrated deeply inside us that we don't have the defense mechanism. See, if you have an argument, a fight, or moments of weakness, you leave a hole in your auric field. You come back next morning, you have a cold. What happened to you? You did not go and inject cold virus. The cold virus was just there hovering around. You just gave it a opening. So the armor gets to be penetrated, compromised whenever we are weakened emotionally, mentally, physically. So it is not just about taking dosages of vitamin C. People pump it up the body with so much vitamin C in the form of a pill. But remember this, immunity is not just about nutrition. Nutrition is one aspect of it, undeniable aspect of it. But the important aspect of it is, can you actually raise the body's electromagnetic field by movement? So what movement? I met so many athletes. I have been an athlete for so long. So how is this mechanism working? First and foremost, there has to be a fantastic cardiovascular flow. That means If your heart rate is heightened for a longer time and kept at least minimum 160 for a longer period of time and sustained, the entire circuitry gets pumped. All the arteries get pumped. The first loop is called the arterial loop between the center of the brain and the heart connection. This arterial loop is vital for your state of being. Most people ignore it. I met so many doctors who advise people, do not run, it is not good for your legs. Just walk. Okay, walking is fine, but you see the heart rate has not increased much. So we are tempered down to a low frequency. We are not going to raise the frequency. So how long can we live in fear? So first and foremost, immunity at what rate? First, look at your feet. They will tell you the story whether you have really used it or not. The current modern day living, all the feet are always protected. They become soft, gentle like baby feet. We all make it look nice. That means this will never ever be used on a stone. That means they will never get an opportunity to have acupressure. Walk barefoot. Walk, let the pebbles pierce you for a little while. See, I am giving an example to you. There is a hill near Kevala Foundation. It's called the Bindiga. Okay, Devi Rama. Okay, hill. Now, this hill is supposed to be climbed barefoot. It is little difficult for city dwellers to climb 6,400 feet hill and come back. So once you get used to it, first and foremost you realize is first that by the time you come down the hill, you are tingling all over the body. Light like a feather, not tired. Why? Because your feet were completely channeled through the acupressure and all these nerve endings, and the signal up there, it is perfectly fine. If you know how to do a proper horse riding, the tailbone would be stimulated. By the time you get off the horse, you will be on a top gear right in the center of you. That means everything has a certain way of handling. So first and foremost, whether Mooladhara is primed or not, most people are suffering with spiritual bypass because they just don't want to be here at the Mooladhara because it's too threatening to be always at the Mooladhara. Because see, it's a very strong Mooladhara means, number one, what is your state? Clear definition. Number one, you are basically able to handle the intensity of being on this planet. Technically speaking, we are passing through this planet. We are not here on this planet, we are passing through. But keep the technical aspect aside because most of us cannot feel that we are passing through a body which is basically atoms coming together and going. So we still have a physical frame which is quite handy. It is painful for most people. So first and foremost, the Mooladhara needs to be clarified. Number one, the earth connection. Most people want to, while they are here on this planet, they want to be on some other domain because they find it very enamoring that they can live up there in heavens. This earth also is heaven if the Kundalini is in its prime glory. Kundalini is called heaven on earth. Now if Kundalini is alive within us, what is the sign? First and foremost, a churning like feeling all the time. The churning doesn't discomfort us. The churning reminds us that yes, I am on this planet earth. The gravitational pull is strong, not too strong that you are not buoyant. Just the right amount of pull. That pull is required. You know why? If the pull is strong, your legs are fine. The sign of a yogi, you see, yogi is not traveling in cars. The yogi is always walking. If I get an opportunity, the yogi wants to run because this is symbolism of a powerful connection with the earth. You cannot deny the fact is the legs are will give you tell you the story of your journey. So the barefoot aspect is that if you are barefoot, you walk, you are leaving footprints, and these footprints are of an elevated being. People will come to know by reading. It's called Divya Chinha. That means if an elevated being is walking, just by reading the symbolism of the footprint, they will know this was traversed by a yogi. That's why in India, the people followed the path of the yogi, and that is what is actually the marga. That means where to go. Where to go? You go where the yogi walks. So that when people would put their forehead on the feet of the yogi, because the yogi completely awakened in the Vajrani Nadi, right from the tip of the toe to the top, fully awakened. There is a spark of current lighting up the whole body. If you put your forehead on the tip of the toe of a yogi, there may be a chance that if you are alert and awake, you might get a current. I'll give an example to you. I went to Arunachala. I climbed this beautiful master abode of Shiva. It is only 1,000+ feet high, but it is absolutely rocks you out of this world. Phenomenal energies. By the time our guide took us to the top, he showed me a small little cave where only one person can sit. Only one person can sit in this cave. Now, this particular cave was filled with crazy energies. There was just a picture of a brilliant saint who was meditating there for 16 years, sitting there. He would only drink half a glass of milk, and this guide job was to go and deliver this milk every midday. That's what he said. At 20 minutes it takes for me to climb this hill. I go and deliver this milk to him every single day without fail. That was my job. Look at the dedication. Yes? Now, I went to this beautiful cave. I just saw it and I just put my hands together. You know what was the reward for praying? There was Shakti path given to me from the tip of the toe to the crown 3 times. There was like a lightning hitting me. There were 16 people with me, next to me. They couldn't feel a thing. Now, why? Yes, 16 people. And they just bowed and said they came back. I asked them, how did it feel? Nothing. I saw this master's picture and came back. Then I realized what is the meaning of being a pure receptor. All this hard work cannot go wasted. All this hard work cannot go wasted, because if you are a pure receptor, a pure instrument, you could get it from anywhere. A tree could give it to you. In California, I was sitting under a tree, 2,100-year-old tree. From the top, I received the transmission from the top of the tree. So that means make your body super receptive. Don't wait for, I don't know, kingdom come. When will it come? This is not going to happen. If you want to wait forever to get a gift from this planet, it is going to be too late. So while you're still awake, alert, alive in this instrument, prepare this instrument. Vajrakavacha, inevitable to at least sustain the journey of, a clarified, purified, healthy instrument. Why clarified, purified? Clarified how? If your thought is clear, you only have ideas for action. It's called ideation. What idea? You woke up in the morning. What are you supposed to do today? Clear goal. It is whispered into you that this is what you have to do today. It will happen. Unfurling of an event. But how? Unless you purify the space within, not like, few days ago I did it. Why on an everyday basis? It's called Nitya Sadhana or Nitya Kriya. Nitya Kriya actually means evolution process. That means you are clarifying the instrument or purifying the instrument as soon as you get in the morning. See, a simple exercise. Most of us have forgotten to purify our tongue. and use our tongue. The tongue is the navigator of the brain flow. Most people are now victims of an Alzheimer's disease. 50 plus, vital candidate. Yes, most likely to get Alzheimer's. Why? Because we have made our tongue only useful for taste but not used how to navigate this. In Kriya Yoga, we actually navigate the tongue in impossible ways to get the whole brain to experience a phenomenal electromagnetic shift, the crosswired shift. So what happens is, moving the tongue is imperative, as eventually the tongue has to be folded and put inside your forehead. This is called the Kechari Mudra. So now I'm not advising everybody to overnight suddenly get into Kechari Mudra. You need proper guidance for that. But what I'm saying is, what can you do without going overboard as a samsari, somebody who's at home not trying anything dramatic? All it takes is ability. See, first and foremost, the tongue itself needs to extend. You have to use little bit of lime on your tongue to cleanse it and open the taste buds and also open the receptors to the brain flow. There is a salivation which is very crucial in the tongue. Most people do not know how to salivate back. After our babyhood days, people do not have salivation process. This is very sad. Only when they're about to, in the later part of the your old age, you start drooling, not because of anything. There is no teeth, there is no protection, the jaw has gone out of proportions. Out of degeneration you are drooling, not because of any growth. You getting me? But what I'm saying is, while you are still healthy, if you know how to salivate properly, the lubrication would go to all the channels. You see, arthritis has become very common today. It's because the lubrication is not on. The fluid in your joints are degenerating, drying up. So salivation is important part of Kriya. See, all this is not shared so easily. People do not know what to do with their saliva. There are so many powerful techniques. If you use it properly, you can actually rechannel the energy. I have seen people coming to Kevala Foundation. They had so much of dollops of saliva, swirling in their mouths. He said, where did it generate from? You getting me? So this is very vitalization, deep vitalization process. I checked with so many research papers on how saliva has been crucial part of the regeneration mechanism. See, after 36 years of age, catabolism is inevitable in people. They are on a downhill journey. You ask people by 40 they're supposed to take executive health checkup, which basically means you are ready to accept the fact that you have to have a heart disease, you have to have diabetes, you have to have arthritis, you're supposed to go slow. Eventually, yes, they expect you that you have to become slow down. You're not supposed to ask a doctor if you are supposed to run after 40 years of age. They will say no. But today, thankfully, there's a new generation and new communication happening across the world. There are marathon runners who have come up on this world. I think there's a huge new shift in our world, which is very healthy and powerful. People are running now, which is very powerful way of expression. So don't be scared of using this body's tremendous potential. Do not make it limited by, I read a document saying that Asian men are not supposed to run after 40 because in your genetic